Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 346 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gaming podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, and I'm joined this week by I don't have a special fancy nickname for you this week. David Moody. Yay.
Howdly doodly do. It's Friday. You know what that means. You've already started your weekend because it's bank holiday weekend. It's Easter weekend. So you've got 4 days off. Unless it's me who's going to be working the Friday and Monday because I'm a schmuck. But I've still got the weekend off, so yay me. And Amy doesn't like any of us. which is normal. So it's alright, guys. Don't worry. I still like it. Well, it's game talk time, as always. The chatty chat, the dingalings, I lost myself with dingalings.
Dingalings.
The dingalings.
Dingalings.
The discussions. Let's hope this time nothing drops 20 minutes after we fucking finish recording when we even talked about it that this probably could have happened. But no.
I mean,
whatever.
Who knows?
Who knows?
That is the cost of doing business.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Used to happen all the time. You might say, but this wouldn't happen if you still recorded on Sundays. But this used to happen all the time on Monday. All the time on Monday. Yeah. And it happens all the time now. Really you can pick a day. It doesn't matter what day. This will still happen to you. How's it going? I'm things?
Very good. I'm not bad. Not bad at all. Like, it's weird. Like, I said bye to everyone today, and they were like, bye, and I'll see you Tuesday. Yeah.
It's 4 days.
Enjoy your 4 days off, everybody.
I don't even say that. I don't even go on like that when I'm going away for 2 weeks. Oh, bye. I'll see you on that. I'm like, nah, get me out of here.
I like my team.
Like in when you see those people going to the courthouse and all the photographers and stuff, and they're walking around and they've got their jackets up like that. That's me.
I thought you'd be like this.
Nah.
I've got my hand off screen so no one sees it.
Wait, I've got an artist impression.
Just walking away.
There was this one time when it was years ago, but it was really funny. You know how I'm just like a really random person, does random things sometimes. For no, it's just a discernible reason. Well, you have to go out for a smoke. You have to go out the front door, and literally everyone who was in work was gathered in a group next to the front door, just chattering away because they weren't doing anything. And I was going out for a smoke, and I thought, it'd be really funny if I just silently ran out of the shop at full speed. I said nothing. I just sprinted past them and kept going straight out the door. And I did that.
Amy, go on. Is it like the Rocky soundtrack?
No, it's just like I thought about screaming, but then I thought that was too much. Like that would be like layering too much on it. So I just ran past them, and I don't even think it registered. I think people get used to my shenanigans too quickly.
That's true.
Whereas, like, I do some weird shit now, and it's just like, okay.
You do.
Okay.
You do weird shit, Amy. You won't lie. I can't deny that.
Because to me, that was hilarious. Like, that was really funny. But everybody else was just like, yeah, whatever. That's my curse. What was it we were saying a couple of months ago? No one makes me laugh more than me.
That's true, yeah. You do make yourself laugh.
You got to. You just got to do it.
That's what makes you such great company, Amy. That's why I hang around a lot.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
That was a compliment. It wasn't an insult or sarcasm behind it. If it came across sarcastic, it was not intended to.
That's the other side of the problem that I have.
Need someone behind us putting the sarcasm sign on for you.
Well, I always like to think that when you know I'm being serious, you know I'm being serious. But sometimes I forget that most of the people in my life don't know me that well.
I'm still learning, okay? I'm slow. I'm a man.
Oh, you've got it. You know when I'm being serious. So a lot of people don't get that, and because a lot of my sarcastic, like I'm like Captain Shaw in Star Trek Picard, whereas like a lot of my sarcasm is if taken as a serious comment, could just be seen as me being a bitch.
Yeah, true. And they're just like, is she being a bitch? Is she trying to be funny?
Listen here. And I'm just like, what do you mean?
Oh, you were joking? Yes.
But then that flips around on me.
Yeah.
And then I'll say something like, and I'm like, I'm not fucking joking.
I'm not fucking joking. I'm going to lamp you up right now.
I'm not fucking joking. Does his fist look like it's joking? Ready to joke? I've never hit anybody. I have never hit anybody.
Until June.
I'm not about that life. Okay.
Not in your not in real life, but in your dreams, it's all mayhem. It's
was
Royal Rumble in there.
I had to explain to somebody. I made a joke. I made a joked comment about like, oh, I'm going to show you why they call me Fists of Fury, and then I explained why. They being obviously you and Keith called me Fist of Fury. It's like it's not a real life thing.
It's a game thing.
It's an Apex Legends thing. It's from Apex. Yeah. I used to forgo guns. It's fine. Apex. I miss Apex. I miss being Fist of Fury.
Yeah. I don't know if I can go back to that.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, I've got it installed again because, like, when me and Keith met up to play it, but it's like, should we try it?
What's the worst could happen?
We get our asses handed to us for an hour, and then we go and play Gang Beasts again. It's like,
no, not Gang Beasts.
You loved Gang. You had a lot of fun.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, you did.
The mechanics made no sense.
That was part of the fun.
Like, respect to the people at the QA test that fucking game because the mechanics made no sense.
Is this a bug or a feature?
Yeah.
Or both?
Every time they bug in something in, it's like,
feature.
Bug or feature? Question mark. Collision. Collision. This happens. Description. Steps to reproduce. You might think. I'm
maybe.
Not sure. Maybe.
This is how it works. Could not reproduce.
They would reply, yes, I couldn't reproduce. It's a feature, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're just like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I could reproduce most of the things that we did that night.
That's true.
Oh dear God, what an interesting that was a weird evening.
It was a weird evening. There's no doubt about it.
This is what happens when nobody plans anything. It's like, I don't know what to play. Oh.
And then we had to wait for me to install shit.
Yeah,
transfer myself to the better internet.
I might as well tell the story. It's because we had because Keith, bless him. I love your debates, Keith, but you're really hard to plan.
Keith,
you're really hard. Shut up. You're really hard to plan around. Or it's like, hey, what should we play? Because I didn't know if you had Game Pass or not. So I was like, hey, I don't know what our limit of games is. And he sent me a thing saying Halo. He had Halo and Titanfall installed, and I was like, well, Moody's not going to want to play any of those games. So hey, can we expand our horizons? And then I finally just got fed up, and we made the group chat, and I was like, all right. And it was like we installed Halo and Apex, but there was such short notice that both myself and Moody were like, we're going to have to make a choice here. One game or the other. Now, unfortunately, neither of us communicated that to the other one. So it was like, I picked a game, Moody picked a game, they were different games. I went, there's no way Moody's going to want to play Halo. I'll reinstall Apex. And Moody just went, I guess I'll install Halo. It was like, huh? I don't know how we get anything done.
Yep. I don't know either. Let's just be frank here. Let's just be frank. Somehow we get there in the end.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a bumpy ride all the way there.
That's it.
It's like...
Words about games. Somehow we get there in the end.
There in the end.
And then it's that shuriken emoji. You know?
Should we prepare a moment's silence for E3?
Do we need to? E3 never gave me a moment. Even E3 never gave me a moment's silence. Do I need to give E3 a moment's silence in return?
True, yeah.
Got a lot of memories of E3, and as I learned over the past week, when everybody was sharing all of them like E3 memories and stuff, most of them were of the embarrassment and the cringe and the gifts that were Mr. Caffeine, Konami, you know, like it was like, oh, these are the things that I remember. Not the, I mean, you know, there were some good moments in the PlayStation stuff, with the God of War and the
funny thing is, all of those stuff, I missed all of that.
You missed the golden age.
Yeah, I missed the golden age of cringe.
You came in and E3 was okay.
Yeah, but I started with a belt and all the things.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it.
You came in and E3 was all right. It was respectable. You missed the golden age when it really wasn't.
Yeah.
It was the cringiest thing you'd ever seen. That was why so many people looked forward to it every year.
We're going for the games. We're going for the cringe.
Damn right. Do you know how many people were mad when when they announced Aisha Tyler was going to be hosting the Ubisoft thing and not the Mr. Caffeine, you know, the time travel guy? Let's go back in time. People were mad because it was so bad. It was really entertaining. It really got you through those Assassin's Creed trailers. It's like, what's he going to do next? Surely I'm not here for the games content.
Truly not, yeah.
That's what I got a PlayStation for. Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Well, I guess we've started with gaming news, so let's get into the gaming. What are we talking about, Amy?
There wasn't very much news this week. Let's not sugarcoat it. Neither of us have finished Resident Evil 4. Or at least we're to a point where we're like, let's review this game. So we're just going to shoot the shit and talk about. I guess maybe it was driven by E3's demise and that kind of being the point of conversation for the last week. I was talking about like, what future games are we looking forward to? Because I was talking about some games that we've like seen like title screens of.
Yeah.
So like we do like like most anticipated games of the year thing, but like those games are coming out, you know, in the next 12 to 5,000 months. Like I'm more focused on the 5,000 months. It's like I was thinking like, oh, what games are like have been announced and then never talked about, or like are definitely not coming out for another few years. And let's just talk about those, and maybe we'll get a conversation out of it. Maybe we won't. That wasn't really anything to lead with this week.
So it's the video games that we know about, or maybe don't know about. That could be coming
it's the games that we know about, or we know about.
Yeah, basically.
Like Fable 10 years ago.
Yeah. So I'll start. Easy one, which I think we're going to hear about this year. Last of Us Part 3.
I thought you were going to go the Dino Crisis road.
No.
That's like
I've given up on that. So like if they ain't gonna do Code Veronica, they ain't gonna do Dino Crisis. So But potatoes. No, yeah, it's I've stated on many occasions, I adore The Last of Us Part 2. I think it's really a masterpiece. I really think I loved every single thing that game did to me throughout the entire thing. Like, I hated it, I loved it, I cried, I screamed, I was emotional, I was like every emotional spectrum throughout that entire game, and I adore it for that. And I stand by that. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Last of Us Part 3, which we all know is going to happen. Whenever that happens, who knows? But I am very excited for that. And like we already know, Neil Druckmann's already come out and confirmed basically when they were talking about it on the Last of Us TV show, that the script is pretty much done, if not done, for The Last of Us Part 3. So, hey, maybe something. But yeah, I adore that franchise, and I can't wait to go back to it.
Me too. Like I said it when we reviewed it. Sorry, I'll explain in a second. We when we reviewed the game a couple of years ago, and I was like, it's definitely gonna. I think there's definitely gonna be a third one. Like, if there's not, cool. I'm okay with what we got. I'm pretty sure there will be. And they don't want to do a Game of Thrones. I'm just saying, you don't want to do a Game of Thrones with it. So I'm guessing the game's going to have to come out in the next few years. Ideally. But yeah, no, Last of Us Part... We talked about the games as well as the TV show on an episode a couple of weeks ago when we reviewed the TV show. And I said, like, Part 1 was a good game that I loved a lot, but Part 2 was, like next level. Like, I fucking loved it, like, a great deal. So, like, I'm very excited to see where they go with Part 3. What I did was I Googled The Last of Us Part 3, and... like, I'm not going to name any names, but like I've never heard of the YouTube videos that I've got apparently like all of the info from YouTube channels I've never heard of, and then like websites where I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I click on this, my laptop's going to get a virus, and also the sun.
That's definitely a virus.
That's definitely going to give me a virus in my brain.
But no, yeah. It's like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it.
What do you think they'll do with it?
I think it's two possibilities. I think it's going to be a redemption arc kind of type of thing. Kind of go back to what the first one kind of was, to redeem Ellie in some sort of way. And maybe that she meets not a person who's like who can't be infected like her, but a person who she has to rely on, or that she's with Dina, and their child, and they're like out there defending and trying to survive, and everything. Something's happened maybe to the town and whatnot, but it could be something like that, or it's going to be a full-on circle thing of that. Throughout the entire game, she's humming and hawing on sacrificing herself to maybe try and do a cure.
She goes out and tries to find the legendary Phoenix down. I got you.
But I think that's maybe a way how they bring Abby back into it as well. That she goes to the Fireflies and she ends up back.
So Last of Us Part 3 is The Last of Us Part 1 again. We've got to get you to the Fireflies, Ellie. This sounds familiar.
Yeah. But
wait, are we in Pittsburgh?
But no, yeah, I think it's something like that. But I hope it's going to be something just like the second one, where it's completely different, and it's going in, and they don't care about the thing of getting a cure or whatnot, or maybe Ellie decided or something like that. They just do something to complete an original story that will help, obviously, bring proper closure to these characters. Because I'm going to surmise that the third one will be the finale of Ellie's story. It's what as Joel's story's already ended with that, but Ellie. A full scale and finish Ellie's story, however they want to do that. But I'm excited. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I don't know. Like, both games that we've gotten so far have both had like very different themes.
Yeah.
So like I imagine the third game is going to be like a completely different theme to what the first and the second games were. So like I don't really know because it depends like what theme the writers want to go with, and that'll inform what kind of game that we get. I'd like to see it sort of be like a redemption thing. I'm in the same camp. Like if they go down, say, because that the whole like, oh, Ellie's gonna go and try and save the world. Air quotes. That sounds really good. I'm in the same camp as that as I was. Like if I sit down to play that game and that's the story, I'll be in the same camp as I was when I sat down to play God of War Ragnarok, where I was like making bargains with the game, where I was like, okay, game, this all seems very cool and everything. Do not kill Kratos off. That would be the cheap and easy thing to do. Don't do it. I don't like cheap and easy, but well.
I don't think
Unless it's food.
It would have been cheap and easy.
It was the thing that they said they were going to do, and if they just did it, it would have been like, okay. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it would have been emotional and impactful and whatever, but it's just like, no. Fatalism. I've got no place for it in my media anymore.
Fine. That's fine.
Break the bands of fate and all that nonsense. But oh yeah, I don't like again, it's the theme that they need to choose to focus on. I think it'll be a more positive game than the last one. I think it'll still like bad things will happen to people and all that, but I think like the story itself will probably have a bit more positivity to it. Yeah. And I know that's a very low bar. True. But
even the first one had enjoyment and happiness in it.
The second one had like a few minutes here and there.
A few minutes, no doubt about it.
A few minutes of like, this is cool. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah. Where were we again? Oh no!
We're ready to go home. Oh my god! No!
Oh, so the game's basically done, right? Like, wait, what's happening? It's like that realization when you're watching a movie and you're like, everything seems to be wrapping up quite well. I'm not sure why there's another hour left on the runtime, though.
What is going on?
Yeah,
no.
But there's 2 more episodes after this.
That's true. What's a game you're looking forward to?
I mean, as I was thinking about it, there was ton. You can't say
Hollow Knight because
why?
That's going to be here this year or next year.
You say that like it's a given fact, but I said that fucking 3 years ago, right? Like, let me tell you something.
Sorry for putting in that.
I actually wasn't going to say Hollow Knight.
I didn't think you were.
I even I put my Hollow Knight t-shirt on, realized I was wearing it, and changed it to my Bloodborne t-shirt just for you.
So Bloodborne 2 then?
No, fuck no, that's never happening. I don't know. There's a ton. I want to say the James Bond game from IO Interactive. Not because I like James Bond, because as we've discussed on your podcast, your old podcast, your movie podcast, I'm not really a huge James Bond fan. But I am a huge IO Interactive fan. And I like what they do with Hitman. And I think that could be translated quite well into a James Bond type game.
That's my biggest worry, that it's just going to be a Hitman clone.
I do hope they do expand upon it. Like, I don't want it to just be Hitman 4, except he's got hair and drinks martinis now and says one-liners. Agent 47 says one-liners too, but...
that's how I think it's going to be. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I've mentioned it many times, like when I tried Hitman 3, I was very annoyed because I was not having good times with the internet at that time at my area. So I tried to install it just as all off the disc. They only give you the first 3 fucking levels. and then says download, install, go online and install the rest of the game. What do you mean install the rest of the fucking game? You can't give me it to the disc? No.
I find it weird that you hang up on that on Hitman specifically when like tons of games do this with day one patches.
I know. It really annoys me. I know. No.
Like, do you know how long I have to? Do you know
9 times out of 10, the full game is on a disc.
Sure, the full game is on a disc.
Yeah.
Whether it works or not is another matter.
That's the other matter. Yeah, that is true. Do not disagree with that.
Like, you want to install some of these games we play without being connected to the internet? Good luck with that.
Imagine if you did that with Cyberpunk.
Imagine reviewing games.
It was already broken when it released.
Imagine reviewing games without day one patches. You get emails with the list of things that the day one patches are going to fix, and you're like, okay, but you don't have access to the day one patch. So you're like, well, shit. I'm not in for a good time. But no, like I feel like with James Bond, like because James Bond does they're action films.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's going to be a bigger focus on action as well as like whatever they bring to the table from their experience of making Hitman. Like, you know, you're going to do all that shit, like, you know, fucking speed chases down mountains on moped bike things. They're not mopeds, but I can't remember what they're called. Jumping off of dams into planes and all that cool James Bond shit. I definitely know what I'm talking about. It's got a car with machine guns in the headlights. I remember that.
Yeah, yep. There is.
That was the thing.
Yes, yeah. That was in the last game, the last film.
Was it? Oh shit! I haven't even seen that film.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah,
it's
a lot of things are these days.
I know.
But yeah, no, I'd be interested to know if they're going to get to play James Bond in the video games, because that's always a big deal in the UK. Like whenever there's James Bond like role comes up, like people talk about it all the time, like it's in the news and stuff. So I'd be curious to know who they're going to get to play video game James Bond.
I mean, nobody of
it's going to be Troy Baker, isn't it?
I think it'll just be no one of note. Let's get a voice actor.
Hey, voice actors are notable.
I don't disagree with what you're saying there. The voice actors are incredible.
Most of them play Dungeons and Dragons every week on Twitch.
That is true. No doubt about that. I have to see it first before I.
Yeah. I feel like that's
like
how
it is for me right now.
A caveat with like most of what we're talking about. It's like we need to see it first.
No doubt about it. But like there was other levels of excitement for me for stuff like that. But
it's that excitement of the unknown, of possibility, right? It's like before you get to see what it is, it could be anything.
It's like the Frozen song "Into the Unknown."
Never seen that either.
Frozen 2.
Frozen 2. You know what?
You haven't let it go yet, Amy? And you haven't gone into the unknown?
I saw a full performance of Let It Go at GDQ.
Nice.
When they were playing Kingdom Hearts. And it was like a donation incentive.
Oh, no.
And someone like a proper singer like sung Let It Go in the crowd while they were doing a thing.
Let it go.
Yeah, I know the song. I know
everybody knows the
Everybody
song.
knows the fucking song.
Even when you haven't seen the film, you know the song.
But yeah, what's another one? What's another one for you, Moody?
Cop Out, but Mass Effect. I'm looking forward
that
to
exists.
Yeah. That exists. Apparently, it does exist. That's had more marketing than their closest game, Dragon Age.
Probably,
Probably has, yeah. But no, yeah, I love the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm a huge fan of it. I enjoy Andromeda. Like, both of you and me enjoy Andromeda, even though we see the flaws to it, but we also see there is some goodness and fun in this game. But the trilogy I really, really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with it. And when I replayed it 2 years ago, I had a great fun. I had a fun time with it, and I can't wait to hopefully go back to it. And go back to the Mass Effect universe in a new game and everything.
Step into the shoes of Commander Shepard once more.
So once more. Well, this will be fine. We won't mind if it's FemShep.
I don't give a shit if it's Commander Shepard again. A lot of people are like mad that like it might be Commander Shepard again or whatever, and I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Let it be Commander Shepard again.
The more important thing is it a good game with a good story? That's the more important thing. Not about, oh, you're playing the same old character all over again. Shut up.
Good. I liked that character.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Mass Effect, obviously, like it's a huge game for both of us. For a variety of reasons. I'm still working on that video, right? Leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone.
She'll get there in the end.
It's a big process.
We've already proven it. We get there in the end.
That's words about games. We get there in the end. But no, it's like a huge, awesome, fantastic 4-game series. And I am excited to see what they do next. Like, it's a weird one where it's like, I feel like it's going to be, because sometimes you forget when a franchise has been on ice for a while, that the people who are making it and the people who are driving it might not necessarily be the people who made previous entries in the game. So like it hopefully they capture the feel of Mass Effect while with it'll also be something, new, because a lot of the leads and directors and whatnot who made Mass Effect 1 through 4 won't be working on it.
Yes, that's true. No doubt about it. We'll probably see a trailer, whatever EA is doing.
Nah.
And everything, so.
Oh no, we won't see a trailer for at least 2 years.
No, we'll probably see something at Game Awards. You know that. You know what Jeff Keighley's like.
It'll be another bit of concept art.
He'd be like, "Give me something."
Let's not talk about Jeff Keighley here. We're trying to have a nice time.
Yeah, that's true. What's your next game? Man? What's your next game?
I can't wait for people, just before I get on that, I can't wait for people to like, people are going to get mad when like they tie Andromeda into Mass Effect 5. People are going to be like, blah, 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 and I'm just going to laugh.
And we're going to be like, just like Arnold and Carl Revers. Right together. We're together.
Yeah.
Supporting it. Yes.
Finally, resolution.
Recognition.
There was a cliffhanger at the end of that game. It's been 6 years.
We're like, it's been
6 years. By the time the game comes out, it's been 16 years.
No, I was going to say it's going to be literally 8 years.
I mean, I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going down that road. Another game for me. Vowed. I'll go with Avowed. Purely because the developer, Obsidian Entertainment, they make fucking awesome RPGs. And I know nothing about this, but it seems like it's their version of Elder Scrolls.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it screams out. Like I didn't click with Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds. That just didn't click for me personally. But I found, I won't lie, that one little teaser trailer just looked. I won't lie, everyone literally said, that's Skyrim. And then it came up, Avowed. Right, no,
well, yeah.
Skyrim. Why are you doing Skyrim again, guys?
Well, the last time they did something like this, they made Fallout New Vegas. So I'm in, right? Like, if Obsidian just want to have one of their teams just make their own better versions of Bethesda games.
True.
I'm so in. Like, my thoughts on Fallout games notwithstanding. I'll put that on New Vegas. But yeah, like it looks cool. I trust the team. Like they just put out Pentiment last year, and that was one of my top 10 games of 2022.
Yes, it was, yeah.
And I've loved so many of their games. Unlike Bethesda. The development studio, not the publisher. It's a key difference there.
That's true. For me, so this is one I'm gonna say has not been announced, so we don't really know much about. But I would very much love, just because of what the last game did for me, I would very much love to see Deck 9 do another Life is Strange game. And if it was, if you want to say it's a sequel to True Colors,
so you saw the thing.
sign me. fucking up.
You saw it. You saw the thing. I sent you that picture from the magazine where they asked.
Yeah.
In Edge magazine, they asked about it, and they were like, "Well, there's a first time for everything." And it's just like, please let this be the first time. We reviewed that game 2 years ago, and I said in that review, if they just want to make the rest of Life is Strange, fucking those 3 characters in a van driving around like it's Scooby-Doo, I mean...
Give it me. Just give me those characters back.
I'll give it Game of the Year right fucking now.
Yeah. Like I think we discussed that we potentially might play it when you're down here and everything. So it's gonna be like with this game is very influential to both of us, but but for me it's like this is a game that helped me grieve. So,
yes.
Which is something I didn't realize I was still going through and everything. But no, yeah, it's which is stupid to think about if I look back on it.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no,
it's a game that really helped me. So yeah, I would very much love this. Anything Deck 9 does right now, I'm always going to pay attention to it because they helped heal me, so I have to go along with that. I have to give them some money.
They helped heal me, therefore I am bound to them for life.
Yeah, basically, yeah. If I ever meet one of them and they say they were part of the game, I'm literally going to say thank you to all of them. Thank you.
More people should do that, just in general, on socials and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know how much I love Life is Strange True Colors.
Yeah.
I'm this close to being like, fuck this video, chuck that in the bin. Then realize I write everything on the same laptop, get the laptop out of the bin. Start writing it. It's the only game I replayed in 2022. Like, I replayed it. Like, I played that game twice in 1 year.
Yeah,
which is a bit weird for me.
That's a very weird thing for you. Yeah, you are. Yep, it's very weird.
Yeah, you are very weird. I know. Another one for me would be Control too. Like, Remedy made Alan Wake, and I fucking loved Alan Wake more than most people. And then it didn't sell very well because they released it on the same day as Red Dead Redemption. Thanks, Microsoft. Truly. So they never made a sequel. And then they made some other stuff. And they made Control, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to play it. It's Remedy. I love Remedy games. But it's not Alan Wake 2. And then, it turns out it's one of my favorite games ever. Like, Control, I loved it so much. And they're making a sequel. And they're making an Alan Wake 2. So we can add Alan Wake 2 to this as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know how you said, people always tell you, Moody, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But I'm having my cake and I'm eating it too, because I'm getting a Control 2 and an Alan Wake 2. I got Alan Wake content in Control.
Yeah.
That was a good day.
Did you play the remake? Did you play the remake of it?
It was just a remastered. So no. No, I replayed a bit of it when I was making my Control video because I needed footage of it. Because I did like a whole thing about Alan Wake. And the gameplay is what it is. It's like the growing pains of 3D gaming. There's this whole section of the calendar you could circle and go. So there's lots of great games that came out here, but they were kind of still figuring out how to make them Control. So they don't always feel great. And Alan Wake falls into that, I think. But I'm looking forward to both games, just seeing how it expands the universe like that they're creating. Like, Control was such a fun game, like, in the world that it created, with all the weird shit that like happens in this one building. Like, fucking, it was just a lot of fun to like, at a time when I was like burning myself out on even like participating in exploring like video games, just because the worlds were so massive and nothing was ever worth finding. Like, it was nice to step into this world and then actually feel like I want to go and see what's in this area. Oh, there's a whole like optional like department in this part of the building. I'll go and have a look what's in there, and then something cool in there, right? So for that alone was awesome. But yeah, it was just such a phenomenal experience. And I know it was buggy when it came out. You remind me.
I wasn't going to say a single thing.
But like, yeah, it was fucking awesome. And replaying it again and getting the platinum, like forcing myself to basically do everything in the game. And it had amazing accessibility options, which I also showed off in the video. Pretended I was making a point about how good the accessibility options were, but really I just got stuck on this one boss and I didn't want to fight him, so I turned on 1-hit kills and shot him. Then turned it off again and was like, I'm going to turn this into a joke, and everybody's going to think I was just making a joke, but really I was just annoyed.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair indeed.
Yep.
That is fair. For me, let's go back to Microsoft.
Fable, baby.
No idea what they're doing with it. We have not seen it.
Well, you plant a tree and then you go away and you do some stuff and then the tree grows.
That's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, they're waiting for the tree to grow. Come on.
Yeah. But no, yeah. Fable coming from Microsoft, coming from Playground Games, who are obviously they are normally the Forza Horizon team and everything, and they always do. Forza Horizon's always been a very critically well-loved, well-received game and everything. The Fable's a completely different beast and everything. Obviously, we received that teaser trailer, 2 years ago now, I think it was?
84 years ago.
It's going to be like that by the time the Fable come out. But no, it's Fable. I'm saying it's because it's Fable. I'm trusting in that they're going to bring the same love that the first Fables that I enjoyed, like Fable 1, 2, and 3. I always have a fun time with them when I played them and everything. So, like, I'm looking forward to see what they want to bring to it and what they want to expand upon and change up if they want to change a couple of things up. But there's one thing we'll know it's going to be one beautiful, breathtaking game. I think that's a guarantee for that. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what the Playground Games do for Fable. So yeah.
Now that we've done this, like, it's all starting to come to me, and I'm just like, oh fucking hell, so many. Now it's like I've gone, I'm struggling, and then I've gone, wait, what about this and this and this and this and this? Here's one for you. Resident Evil 9.
That's coming. Yeah, we know that's going to happen.
That's happening. About that. And it becomes even... So when Resident Evil 8 finished, spoilers for Resident Evil 8 Village, or 8, depending on what you want to call it, and like, they did that thing where it was like 20 years in the future or whatever, and everybody was like, oh my god, are they doing a time skip? And then it was like some DLC that they released for Resident Evil Village, and then they were like, well, we've done with this story. So now it's like, oh, the possibilities are open again. So like, yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with 9. Do they go what like at this point, Resident Evil has been so many different things. It's like, what do they even do? Like, what tone do they go for? Do they go for the absolute batshit and fucking insanity of Resident Evil Village? Do they go for the Louisiana swamp, Texas Chainsaw Massacre horror of Resident Evil 7? Did they go off the rails with like they did with Resident Evil 6? Did we just get a shit Resident Evil? Like, I'm fascinated to know what happens next.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to go for here. Obviously, it's going to be very interesting for whatever they've decided to do for it. Sorry, yawns. I apologize there. I honestly don't know, because Village is a complete departure to 7, because 7 was that claustrophobic Chainsaw Massacre Hanson family type vibe to it, and then you've got this Village was, let's be frank, it was Resident Evil 4. Village was Resident Evil 4.
You went from Resident Evil 7, which was inspired by things such as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to Resident Evil Village, which was inspired by things like the Monster Mash and Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. So...
And PT. And just thrown in there.
Yeah. It's best for that in there. I honestly don't know, but I'm excited to see what they go for.
Ooh. Little bit yawny there. Little bit yawny.
little bit, yeah.
Little bit. Have you got? Did you say you were running out?
No, I'll think of something.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, because we can wrap this up soon if you want.
Wolverine.
Schnicked.
You forgot about that, did you?
Yeah, of course I did.
yeah, Wolverine. This just came to me. I was thinking Spider-Man, Wolverine!
Don't say Spider-Man. Don't say Spider-Man. Don't say...
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Like that, yeah. Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine. The Insomniac have been absolutely incredible when it's come to their games of late. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, 2 incredible games. Then obviously they changed it all up completely when it came to Ratchet and Clank. I still need to go back and play that game. Try that game out as I have a PS5 now. And then obviously we know Spider-Man. Well, we pretty much know Spider-Man 2 is basically coming out this year. Even though they haven't obviously announced it yet. It's like the secret that we all know that they just don't want to tell us right now. It's Fable all over again.
This won't last that long.
But Logan, they were revealed that they're doing a Wolverine game, which is just like, what on earth are you guys are doing here? So I'm intrigued to see what they're gonna do with this game.
Lots of violence.
Logan is such an incredible character. You could go down in so many different ways, but I trust him enough. Just like I trust him enough with the Spider-Man character that, Spider-Man. Their first game went in so many different directions that by the end I was just like, the shock what they did at the end. I was like, wow, I did not expect that, and I felt it, and it was emotional, and I was just like, fuck you, man. At the end of it, game, you bastard. But no, it was still great. And Miles Morales was such a good game. It was so much fun to play him. And with the character and with what they did with that character and do with that character in that game, I think they do a really, really, really good job of that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Insomniac do next with Wolverine, a completely new, different character. I'm yawning again.
You were trying to hold it, and it was interesting.
I tried it. Yeah. I was trying. It was out.
Spider-Man. When you get to the end of the original Spider-Man game, and you go, and you see what they do at the end, you go, oh, you get it. You get what Spider-Man's all about. Oh, you don't know actually what you do is you go, oh God. But then, once you've cried all your tears out, eating a pint of ice cream, then you go, oh, I get it. You get what Spider-Man is. Yeah. But yeah, no, like I trust them with just about anything. Like they're on that list it's not a real list. It's in my head of like the developers, like where I go, oh, I trust you to make a good game. I trust you not to fuck up whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Before you move on to the next game, did you see the new Spider-Verse?
I did see the new Spider-Verse trailer. I said I wasn't going to watch it, and then I did watch it, and then I watched it again.
And you just didn't regret it and just kept on watching
No, absolutely not. Of course I didn't regret it.
What's your next game, Amy?
Yakuza.
Of course.
The sequel to Like a Dragon. Specifically because there's about 17 different spin-offs coming out at the minute. But the sequel to Like a Dragon with Ichi and Ko, like that was such a great game. Like I never really, I still haven't played the original 7 games in the series, but that was a good entry point for me. Like I played the Judgment games because they were a good entry point into the series. But like jump in, new character, new town, like new storyline and stuff, and just being like I get to be a part of this thing that everybody else loves without having to play 600 hours of previous games. And like the fact that they're doing a sequel and it's gonna be follow on from that we got a couple of years ago is awesome. I don't know how far away that is. Like the studio usually puts out games quite quickly, but again, they've been putting out like remasters and spin-offs and stuff, so who knows. But since I can't necessarily say Judgment 3 because I don't know if that's happening or not, I'll stick with Like a Dragon 2.
Yeah, let's pray for Judgment 3.
I'm praying for it.
That. I so wanna go back to that universe, which I still think it's incredible that I watched you play that and I felt like I was playing it. That's how great that game was for me.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I'll tell you what, if Judgment 3 happens, I'll stream the damn thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't care how long it'll take me. I'll do the whole fucking game.
I'll say this. I don't know if I'll play it, and I don't know if I'm overall excited to it. But I'm excited for the people who love this franchise. Persona 6. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
We know it is. So let's just be frank here. Will I give it a try? Probably fuck no. It's like 100 hours.
It's 100 hours long. It's longer than Octopath Traveler too.
Yeah, Amy struggled to get the Octopath Traveler, and she's gonna go.
Oh, I'm not gonna struggle. Yeah.
In the Persona, she ain't gonna struggle with that bloody game.
I'm not gonna struggle with that. I didn't struggle with the last one.
Yeah.
I played both versions of it.
Yeah, you did. You said that. Yeah.
And the sequel.
Yeah, and if I remember, was she Game of the Year number 5?
Was, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. It wasn't even close. Like, in 2017 was a strong year for games, but it wasn't even close. Persona 5 was my game of the year.
That's fabulous to hear. Like, say, Persona, like, I'm not going to make this promise or anything like that, but I think I might give that one next a try because
5 or 6?
Feel it. No, 6.
6.
Okay. I want to feel it.
Like I just said with Yakuza.
I tried 5, but I don't think I really tried 5.
Yeah.
If that makes you understand it.
The thing about that type of RPG is it's the same with all of them. Like, you got the Tales games, even some Final Fantasies a lot of the time. It's like, it takes time. They really slow burn at the beginning. Like you really, like, with Persona 5, you're spending the first 5 to 10 hours where the game's still getting going.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same with a lot of games, like Tales of Arise, which I played last year, 2 years ago. One or two.
I think it was
2 years ago. And like, that took time to get going. And eventually, hey, I loved that game too. And it's like, I think that might be why I bounce off so many of these types of RPGs, like I was talking about last week. Maybe it's just like, do I have the mental capacity to take the time to let the game get going, or am I just going to bounce out and be like, I don't have the time?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll see what happens. Really, ultimately, I think I'll have to say that I think for me, it's going to be, do I have what's around it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because
if I have like a 2-week separation from or something, I might obviously have that gives me a chance.
Yeah. All I need is a chance. All I need is a chance. Well, that's what's happening to me, because like I've always said, like, I'm not really that bothered about playing Starfield. I'm just watching Deep throat an entire glass of ice.
Watch this, just goes down. Moody, no! Who do I call? No!
I'm coming! It's a long run.
She could just call 911, but who cares? I'm gonna run it. I'm running, Moody. I'm coming.
I appreciate the sentiment, but call an ambulance.
Call an ambulance, call my partner, anything.
Anything but run to my house.
Yeah, you know where the place I live at is called. Literally call the pub.
So yeah, like what you were saying there about like time and space and stuff, it's like, I feel that, because like I always said, like, if there was nothing going on around Starfield, I would download Starfield and give it a go, even though I'm not particularly interested in Bethesda developed RPGs like we mentioned before. But like, when they moved it, when they delayed it, when they put it into September, and it's like, it's coming out the week after Baldur's Gate 3 and Sea of Stars, I can have all the best intentions in the world and say that I'll give it a go, but we both know it's not happening.
And let's all just be frank. Jeff Grubbs said Spider-Man 2 is coming out in September as well.
Yeah. So by the time I'm finished with those other two games, it'll be like, Spider-Man time, baby. Someone will be like, are you going to play Starfield? And I'll literally have like a Spider-Man thing on going around going, what's a Starfield?
Yeah, that's the fact, though, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
I'm
sometimes
go Spider-Man before I go Starfield.
I'm just not going to do Starfield. I'm just going to be honest up front right now. I'm not going to string anything along saying, oh, maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I'll get to it. It's not going on the pile. I'm just going to be honest. It's not happening. Sorry. I've played so few games this year already.
That's weird for you.
I know, right?
But
And I'm
yeah, that's really weird. Like,
and I'm fine with it.
She'll bring it all back at the end of the year.
There'll be times where I bring it all back. I'm not going to play a 70-hour game every time. Like, you know, that's the only reason it happened. It was like, well, I'm playing Octopath, and at no point was I like, this is a chore. I have to play it. I was always like, I want to play this. Oh, it's March. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, that's true. I know there's other ones that we've all forgotten and everything like that.
Oh, there's tons.
Oh, we haven't mentioned and everything. So before I give my last one, drop us in the comments. Let us know your future games that are coming out after 2023, that are coming out that you're looking forward to. My final game, of course, because it's my favorite fucking game, Final Fantasy IX.
Fuck off.
If this is revealed, and this is actually happening, that we are getting a remake of my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, that's all I have to say. Final Fantasy IX. That's it. Nothing more.
You know what?
Finito. Fanada.
I hope that happens, because it'll be fun to see you go through all the things that I've been through. With Final Fantasy VII, because like it's the same story.
Yeah, true.
But like
the thing is, though, when that trailer happened for Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was hyped for everybody. I was like, this is fucking awesome. But obviously, like you and me, we didn't really know each other very well. But that back then, I was just like, so I've never seen your whole thing about going, oh my god, and everything.
Fucking,
so it's like,
you'll fucking see it in a couple of months. I'll tell you what. When that trailer comes for part 2, Rebirth, you'll see it. No, it'll be fun. Obviously, you'll have the peak where you're like, this is amazing. I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. And as it gets closer, you get that, what if they fuck it up? And that gets stronger the closer to release you get.
really?
I'm not gonna say that to you. I'm just warning you. That's where you're gonna go.
Probably, yeah.
For me, it was when they first mentioned the Honeybee Inn section that they were definitely doing that, and I was like, I remember that in the original game. There's a million different ways that this could go wrong. Oh no, what if they do that to the rest of the spiral? But then the game came out and it was amazing, so you know.
Yeah.
Really puts your mind at ease. It puts your mind at ease.
It's like, this was a good game.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome.
Fucking rock on, yeah.
Wait, why does it say to be continued at the end?
What?
Fuck!
That's what I'm thinking. They'll probably do the same for mine. If mine is happening, they'll probably do the same as mine. I'm just trying to think, when would they cut it off? I know when they'll cut it off. I know. I can see it in my head already where they would probably cut it off.
I was used to being, because you could name the characters. When Garnet was like, oh, I need an undercover name. And then you get to pick it for her, and I just pick Garnet. Makes some of the game unintentionally hilarious.
The thing is, though, that a name, if you didn't pick a default name, is Dagger.
Yeah.
Why would you name yourself Dagger?
It's like, it was so stupid. It was just like, it's the thing that she was holding, and she was like, oh, I guess I'll go with this then. Like, what if you'd been holding something else? Like, if you'd been holding a turtle, would you have called yourself Turtle? Like,
a twig.
I'll call myself
Princess Twig.
I'll call myself Water Bong. Like, all right. Let's move on. That went on longer than I expected, but it was a fun talk. We're gonna note for Moody. We'll save the review until next week.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do 2 reviews next week.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's fine. I'm not going to finish anything between now and then, because that would require me to start something between now. And I have been binge watching Justified for the last 4 days.
Respect.
That's such good fucking, so good.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not gonna lie.
I'll show you a thing. It's like one of my favorite TV shows ever. It's one of those where it's like I watched it when it was coming out. And now it's like it's on something, so I'm like, oh, I'll watch it again. I remember really enjoying this. Click. Oh, I watched season 1 on Monday. The whole thing.
Respect.
And I was like, okay. I still enjoy it. But do you know what else I enjoy, Moody? Indie games. Do you know what that means it's time for?
Indie game of the week.
Indie game of the week. This is the thing we do every week where I play an indie game demo and I come back and I tell Moody about why it's cool. This week's indie game of the week. Did you like that? I've shortened it.
You sure?
Just came up with it now on the spot. This week's indie game of the week.
Remember it.
No, absolutely not. I'll completely forget next week. But this week's indie game of the week is Howl, and it's been developed and published by Mipumi Games. And the reason I'm bringing that up at the beginning is because I guess in the interests of whatever, like I have a friend who works there. Disclosure or whatever it's called. So I should mention that up front. But I was playing Howl this morning, which is I wrote down the main tags on Steam so I could remember them. It's a turn-based strategy. You're this little dude, and I don't really understand the story. Like, there's a bit at the beginning of the demo that I played where it's like there's a girl and she's writing prophecies, and apparently these prophecies are important because she needs to do it so she can be free or something like that. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but these prophecies are like the thing. They're like the different battles that you do or like encounters that you have. You like move along a path, and you can sometimes it'll diverge and you choose different ways to go, and like most of these things have combat encounters on them, and the combat it's turn based in a weird way that I kind of like, where you've got your character, you go in and you've got 3 moves, like you can do 3 things. You go in with like 3 arrows and you've got 2 health, so you can only take 1 hit before another hit will kill you. And like you've got and your enemies move at the same time as you, sort of. So once you get into range of an enemy, like its vision range or whatever, it will move towards you, but it does it at the same time. So like you'll move 1 and then they'll move 1, and then you'll move 1 and then they'll move 1, and it becomes this really interesting. Each like combat encounter becomes this really interesting like puzzle, almost, where it's like you've got there's like rules that the AI will follow. Like it'll always go for its target as fast as it possibly can, and it's grid based, so it's like they'll always move. If like there's 2 paths, it'll always go on a certain path. So like the idea is to figure out how to get through it in the least moves possible, while like with the resources that you've got.
Yeah.
Because like you don't necessarily go, I'm gonna shoot this wolf, pow. You've got to figure out when the wolf is gonna be in a place where you can shoot it, and then shoot. And then you like use one of your actions to shoot the crossbow bolt and hope it's there. Because let me tell you, from first-hand experience, it's really embarrassing when it's not there. It just goes like above and it's just standing next to you, and you go, and then like it's standing here and you go, hiya, bam, and you just shoot in the opposite direction, and it's like, oh. That. And then you just go, and then it hits you. And then you hit undo. So there's an undo button, but you can only use it once per encounter. But there's like upgrades, so you get 2 different types of things. The currency that you get for upgrades is how quick, like there's a certain amount of turns, like a par, like on a golf course, that you can complete the level in. So like if it's 4 turns or something, and if you do it in 4 turns, you get the maximum amount of whatever the currency is that you use to upgrade. And you use that, you can unlock extra moves, so you can move 4 times or 5 times. You can upgrade your skills and abilities, or you can add extra pushes to the undo button. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it, which is cool. And like there's certain things, like you pick up skills that can only be used, like there's the skill in the demo that you pick up, which you can only use on the 3rd like turn.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of extra complexity to it. And like it is a strategy game, but it does feel more like a puzzle game, because you are trying to get through it as like efficiently as possible, especially considering like, again, you only got 3 shots in your crossbow. if you want to use environmental damage, you can like push enemies. But like, there's got to be something that will damage them behind them for it to actually kill them. So like, and then it's like, and you've got to like maneuver the enemies into a place where you can do that to them in the first place, and it's all really, really cool, really interesting, and it's like the art style is reminiscent of like a pen and paper, like quill sort of drawing stuff. It was a fun time.
It sounds fun. I won't lie. It does sound like a lot of fun. And that's what you want to hear. You want to have fun games. I've just had a look at it. The art style looks breathtaking.
It was really nice.
Love that type of art style. Something unique, different, which is always nice to hear and see. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. It's coming 2023, Switch and PC. Go wishlist it. There's a link in the description below. Go demo. Go play the demo. All these games that I talk about in Indie Game of the Week now, they have demos. Because that's what I do. Play demos.
Wishlist it. Do the whole shebang. Let the developer know you've played the game and you've enjoyed it, because they'll love it when you hear that.
They always do. Trust him. He's a developer. He loves that shit. Don't take my word for it. I'm just an idiot with a microphone. Take his word for it.
We snorted up. Oh yeah, it's all cocaine.
Well then,
we print them off and dice it all up, and then we all take lines each.
But except people who aren't really comfortable with doing all this stuff, and they just roll it up and smoke it.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Wow. Go wishlist Howl.
And ask them how they like the. I'm not gonna say.
No. My friend works there. Don't do that. Nope. No. It's Moody's time to shine, everybody. It's time to shine, Moody, like a diamond. Is he going to shine?
Let's talk about Head leaving a studio.
Can you be more specific?
Stadia.
Aha, thank you. Ex-Stadia head Phil Harrison departs Google following service's demise. This is from Matt Wales over at Eurogamer. He writes, Phil Harrison has departed Google, where he served as vice president and general manager of Stadia following the beleaguered cloud gaming services demise earlier this year. Harrison joined Google in 2018 and shepherded Stadia through its high-profile, if increasingly problematic, launch in 2019, remaining on board during the service's slow, steady decline. It was Harrison who announced the closure of Stadia's internal game development studios in 2021 and ultimately shared word of the cloud gaming service's impending demise last September, admitting it hadn't gained the traction with users that we expected, end quote. News of Harrison's departure from Google comes via Business Insider, but neither Google or Harrison have released an official statement announcing the news at the time of writing. Prior to Harrison's involvement with Google, he served as president of Sony Computer Entertainment Worldwide Studios until 2008, departing during the PlayStation 3 era, would later go on to join the boards of Atari and later Sony, advising on cloud gaming service Gaikai. In 2012, he took a role at Microsoft, running its European Xbox Interactive Entertainment divisions, leaving in 2015 while the company was focused on Xbox One. There's currently no news of where the former Stadia general manager might be heading next. That last part sounds like a threat. If you work at a game studio or a game publisher and you see Phil Harrison coming towards you with a CV, lock the doors, bar the windows. Do not let that man in at any costs.
Pretty much, yeah. Like this man, like literally, like he has somehow, his negativity has somehow battered him upwards to higher positions in the gaming verse. Which is absolutely batshit crazy. The guy has done so bad at his fucking job that he's gone upwards. That's not normal.
Comments that I could make right now. It's a hell of a CV. Like, it sounds impressive on paper. He was at Sony. Yeah. He was at Xbox. But when you look at the dates... and the times. He was at Sony during the PS3 era. This was a famously great era for PlayStation. He was at Microsoft when they launched the Xbox One, a famously great moment for him in Microsoft's history. Like when when these companies have a dip, substantial dip, he's usually there somewhere.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like,
look out, game industry. Phil Harrison's on the lookout for another job.
Phil Harrison is on the prowl. Oh no, Harrison is coming. Harrisons are coming.
What's the tune that he whistles? The Wire. Omar's are coming. Harrison's are coming.
Yeah, it's just keep your eyes open, game industry. I'm not going to say anything nice or anything good about the man whatsoever. I'm going to be very neutral when it comes to this. The guy everywhere he's gone has not obviously done the best. Stadia did not launch great whatsoever. Google gave up on it really fast, and then it was a sinking ship since then, sadly.
Take a job at Twitter, Phil.
He's hiring.
He needs to. He's got needs staff. Yeah, it hadn't gained the traction with users that we expected. Personally, I think it gained about as much traction as I was expecting.
That's the thing about it. How many users were you expecting?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you've got to... It's like they like, you can't set yourself up as the Netflix of gaming and then not offer a subscription service where you pay to access games. Like, if you still have to then buy the games, it's not how Netflix works. So that instantly kind of puts it in your mind. It's like, well, why would I get this then? And like, there are people out there who really loved Stadia, and respect to them. For the people who have the internet capability to use it, I'm sure it was a really good time and a really good experience. It was the only platform Cyberpunk was functional on when it came out. So, there was that. But yeah, it's just something like this could have worked really well, but just because of the decisions that they made, it didn't. And Harrison was the vice president, so.
Yep, that's true. A very interesting one. I was very interested when I read this. GameCube and Wii emulator Dolphin is coming to Steam.
It sure is, allegedly. This is from Ollie Welsh over Polygon, who writes, Dolphin, the preeminent emulator for GameCube and Wii games on PC, will soon be getting a Steam version its developers have announced. Dolphin will be released on Steam in an early access version as a free download. The release date is currently set for the second quarter of 2023, and the emulator already has a store page where you can wishlist it. The developers said they would release more information on the Steam version's features come launch. Quote, we're pleased to finally tell the world of our experiment. This has been the product of many months of work, and we look forward to getting it into users' hands soon, end quote. Dolphin's Steam page stresses that the emulator does not come with any games, and that users must own an original copy of any GameCube or Wii game that they want to use with it. Quote, it is just a tool to run legally obtained copies of these games. Once you have dumped copies of your games into a compatible format, you can launch them directly in the emulator, end quote. The emulator supports modern controllers, 4K resolutions, quick saves, networks, multiplayer, and in some cases where hacks and patches are available, features like increased frame rate and widescreen display ratios. Community mods are supported, and it's fully open source. I'm sorry, when I paused there, I was just imagining like in Mario 64 blown out in a 4K, like. Oh, I can see those pixels.
Yeah, that's no doubt about it. So the funny thing about this for me is literally like, so Nintendo are lawyering up right now, right?
Not necessarily. I mean,
I don't know how it goes or anything like that, but you just gotta think like
it's the old.
Nintendo like, wait, these are our games. We're not gonna.
Well, they're not.
Apparently, but apparently, like to what I heard when I read the whole thing. And heard other things as well, like that. Emulators aren't illegal, so
emulators aren't illegal in the same way BitTorrent isn't illegal. Like the software itself is a file sharing software, and there are legitimate uses for it, but some people don't use it for legitimate reasons. It's the same thing with an emulator. Like I could take all of the GameCube games I've got in a CD wallet, compile them onto my computer, and then use an emulator to play those games, and it's not illegal because I own the games. But some people don't do that. Yeah, there's already emulators on Steam because I saw a few people talk about the lawyering up the comment, but there are emulators that already exist on Steam. Dolphin's not the first one. The timing is fun. The timing, I think, is what's funny, where it's like, we just gone through the closure of the Wii and DSE shop. This was the perfect time to announce something like this was coming up on Steam. And they don't mention Nintendo at all in the store page. Like, the Dolphin emulator is for the big ends 6th and 7th generation consoles, is what they say. And they talk around it a lot. But yeah, it does say right at the top in bold. It's like, it doesn't come with games, you have to own the game. And that's kind of how they'll get around that.
Probably, but Nintendo are going to have a sneaky job.
Nintendo would very much like to do that, like, I'm sure, because they know what it's going to be used for, just like we know what it's going to be used for.
Oh, fucking yeah.
And hey, maybe if Nintendo worked harder to preserve their games, Dolphin wouldn't need to be in existence. That's all I got to say about that.
I didn't feel like saying anything. I was like, I'm not going to say anything.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm saying it in a video. Don't worry about it.
One that made me laugh when I heard it. Arc 2 delayed.
This is... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so Arc 2's been delayed. This is from Victoria Kennedy over at Eurogamer. He writes, Arc 2, the upcoming Vin Diesel-fronted dinosaur survival game, has been delayed until, quote, the end of 2024, end quote. Instead, we have a remaster of the game heading our way, with Ark Survival Evolved's current online servers set to shut down later this year. In an update over the weekend, developer Studio Wildcard stated it needs more time to work on Arc 2, as the team is still getting in grips with Unreal Engine 5. Quote, Unreal Engine 5 is incredibly new technology to us and all developers, and we aim to use this cutting-edge tech to its fullest potential while creating a game with never-before-achieved scope at Wildcard Studio, end quote. The studio has said it will not be sharing any gameplay, screenshots, or videos for its sequel this year. It is, however, releasing a remaster of Ark Survival Evolved known as Ark Survival Ascended. The remaster is set to release by the end of August this year across Xbox Series X and S, PC, on Windows and Steam, and PlayStation 5. Survival Ascended's base game will include the island, survival of the fittest, and all the, quote, non-canon, end quote, DLC maps, something Studio Wildcard states will be added over time. Studio Wildcard has also announced that it will shut down official servers for Survival Evolved, and support will be halted for anything besides critical bug fixes when Survival Ascended launches later this year. Quote, at that time, the final save data from the Ark Survival Evolved official servers will be uploaded for players to rehost on their own servers or play in single-player / non-dedicated, as well as slightly earlier snapshots. You will still be able to play on single-player, non-dedicated, player-dedicated, and unofficial servers, end quote. Needless to say, many are less than delighted with the news, and there was loads of tweets in the article. I just pulled one. Quote, already restarted from Legacy to Official, now I'm expected to rebuy the game and restart from scratch. No thanks, end quote. This is a ride, right? Goes, takes you places. What wasn't in the news article was that they said that they were doing this because they didn't want to crunch. So, I was like, I respect that position.
Yeah. But then you go 2 steps forward, and then they went 10 steps back.
Yeah, like Grandpa Simpson in that meme where he just walks in and then he walks out again.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It sucks to the fans who are excited for Arc 2 and everything that's been delayed, but, they own a crunch, that's fantastic. Support them in a great way that way.
However,
there's a massive caveat to this. And when I heard this, I literally said, well, they got to pay for Vin Diesel somehow, I guess. So
this might backfire on them.
Yeah, this is going to massively backfire on them. And what I've looked into and everything like that, it has massively backfired on them. Like they're getting slammed right now, which I'll never condone or anything like that. Because,
criticism, thumbs up.
Criticism, yes, but harassment, do not. If anyone's harassing them, keep away. Do not say anything. Just if you don't want to play the game, uninstall it and just don't buy the remaster, the Ascended Edition. That will show them and everything like that. But don't harass or anything like that. Like, I hope, whatever they're doing, I hope they come out like Act 2 comes out and everything's forgotten about and everything, and this is great and everything for them, for the fans and everything who love this game. But right now, what they decided to do to basically do a remaster and then going to shut the Evolved servers down at the later in the end of the year. It's crappy and it's shady and it's just a load of crap to the fans who have absolutely put a ton of dedication into this game. So I'm sorry, I was really disappointed and sorry for the fans for this, and I hope
it's $50. Sorry, I looked it up. It's like, yeah, no, so they've delayed the sequel. Fair. But they're also like shutting down the game to sell you a remaster. So if you're an ARC player, you're gonna have to pay $50 for the remaster if you want to keep playing now, and then I assume $70 in a year and a half when you want to play the sequel. It doesn't make sense. Like, that's not how live service works. Like, make a sequel, cool, and people jump over to that sequel or not, as the case may be, but, like, you're going to try and sell your player base 2 games in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, it's like I said, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah, basically. But I won't be able to play as Vin Diesel hunting dinosaurs until the end of 2024.
Okay. Let's go Dragon Age.
Dragon Age. Yeah, I realized I'd accidentally left this in when I wasn't supposed to. But then I decided to leave it in because I was like, fuck it. We both like Dragon Age.
That's true.
BioWare veteran Mark Darrah and the Mass Effect team are helping to finish Dragon Age 4. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC, who writes, EA has announced that BioWare veteran Mark Darrah is again working with the studio in a bid to help it complete Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Darrah, who is now serving as a consultant on the game, retired from BioWare in February 2021. After almost a quarter of a century at the studio. During that time, he led programming for the Baldur's Gate series, directed Sonic Chronicles, and executive produced the Dragon Age series. Additionally, EA told VentureBeat that BioWare's Mass Effect team is now assisting with Dragon Age Dreadwolf development, while a small core group led by Mike Gamble continues pre-production work on the next entry in the sci-fi series. In contrast, Dragon Age Dreadwolf has been in post-production since last September. BioWare General Manager Gary McKay said, quote, our studio is focused on creating the best Dragon Age Dreadwolf, while the core Mass Effect team continues their pre-production work. We continue to iterate and polish Dreadwolf, focusing on things that matter most to our fans. As we further connect this new experience with the series legacy, Mark Darrah will join the team as a consultant, bringing with him years of experience working on Dragon Age, end quote. It's a good thing or not? I can't make my mind up.
Because that basically says they were obviously... Right now, that probably tells me that they're aiming for sometime later this year. That's always what screams out to me. Mm-hmm. But they're so far behind, they've had to pull the Mass Effect team off their project overdone to help them. So how much was that team already originally crunching? Which will be incredibly annoying if that ever comes out again. And how much are they still crunching now? Probably to try and catch up and whatnot, which is just something which obviously we don't want to hear and don't really want to talk about because we hate talking about this type of thing because we don't want to. We want the developers being doing their jobs, enjoying themselves,
sure,
and whatnot.
What a concept!
I really fucking don't know it.
Is this just we just need a little bit of help to get it over the finish line, or is this this is fucked?
Yeah.
Get Mark Darrah back in. Get the Mass Effect team in quick. There's fires everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm not insinuating one way or the other.
Yeah, neither of us know. For all we know, let's cross fingers that it's literally the first one you said that this is just a little help to get push across to get to these final stages and where the rest of the team can finish off for the release later on this year. Again, I'm guessing there.
Yeah, and will be then delayed into next year.
Yeah. Pretty much.
BioWare. This is the thing. We've read so much about BioWare magic in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That it's like, is this happening again? Did you guys actually do this again?
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, that'll be... I don't know how... Yeah, I mean, I can't... I'm speechless if they've done this again.
Let's just hope.
I'm praying. Well, I'm not praying because I don't believe in that stuff. Oh, my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
I'm coughing.
BAFTAs.
BAFTAs. You love the BAFTAs. I went to the BAFTAs once. Not the awards, but I got invited to a couple of game events. Vampire Survivors wins Best Game at the 2023 BAFTA Game Awards. This is from Chris Scullion over at VGC, who writes, God of War Ragnarok won the most awards at this year's BAFTA Game Awards, but lost out on the Best Game Award, which was instead won by Vampire Survivors. God of War Ragnarok was the most nominated game in BAFTA's history, with 14 nominations in total. Ultimately, it took home 6 of these awards, including Game of the Year, the only award on the night voted for by the general public, and both the Performance Awards for Performer in a Supporting Role and Performer in a Leading Role. Some say that Christopher Judge is still giving his speech to this day. That was me, not the news story. But it was Vampire Survivors which won Best Game as well as Best Design. Elden Ring and Tunic were the other multi-award winners, with each receiving 2 awards. And it's not in the news story, but I just want to shout it out. Immortality won Best Narrative. It's about damn time someone put respect on that game.
Well, I always didn't like the BAFTAs, so okay. No, this is amazing. Like, I thought, like when we were like talking about like when it was coming to the Game of the Year awards and everything, or just Game of the Year in general, a lot of people we said were basically was going to be between God of War and Elden Ring. It's always nice just to see these little things. Like I think I've heard of Vampire Survivor. I think that was Steph Sterling's Game of the Year last year.
It was on their list.
It was on their list.
They wrote the bestiary of the monsters.
Sorry?
So the Vampire Survivors has a bestiary. So like when you meet monsters, it puts an entry in a journal, and
yeah, they
wrote all of the entries in the journal.
Oh, that's amazing.
In the game. Yeah. And also, you might have heard of it because I played it. Talked about it.
Amy, you know I love you to bits, but
Fucking
talking about it.
Typical. Wait, you played
sorry.
Elden Ring?
Yeah, all I heard was Elden Ring.
Immortality.
Oh god, immortality. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that's that.
No, but this is just, it's always fun to hear this type of thing. It was like the same a few years ago when Untitled Goose Game won at the DICE Awards and everything, and it was just it's fun. It's a fun thing to see.
Salute that. Yeah.
Yeah. It really is just a fun thing to see that.
Vampire Survivors is awesome. Like, it's very addictive for a game where you basically move an analog stick around. Like, when I talked about it last year, I likened it to Loop Hero, where it's like, Loop Hero is a very simple game. You don't really do a lot, but you do a lot. And Vampire Survivors is the same, and it's just got something in its design that is very Moorish. Where it's like, it's one of those just one more games. Where it's like, once you start playing it. Like, when I finished Demon's Souls on stream, I still had time left. So I thought I'll put Vampire Survivors on as like a palate cleanser, and one of the people in chat was like, watching me play Vampire Survivors caused them to reinstall Vampire Survivors. Which I found really funny. It's available on Game Pass at the moment.
Cool. Let's start with the shit. Let's go Resi 4 first.
Now, that time I did know what you were talking about.
Well, there's 2 other shits as well, so...
Oh, there's a lot of shits in this news story. Resident Evil 4 Remake's Ada turns off Instagram replies after thousands of hateful comments. This is from George Foster over at The Gamer, who writes, the actress behind Resident Evil 4 Remake's Ada, Wang Lily Gao, has deactivated replies on her Instagram posts that mention the role after receiving thousands of hateful comments from toxic gamers about her performance. Resident Evil 4's Resident Evil 4's remake has largely been hailed as a worthy recreation of the original and one of the best, games of 2023. That doesn't mean that it's without fault. One of the main criticisms levied against it is Lily Gau's performance as Ada Wong, with some saying that she sounds bored as the character and saying that it doesn't live up to how she was portrayed in Resident Evil 2's remake. While it is fair to critique a performance, what isn't fair is harassing somebody for their work, no matter how you feel about it. Sadly, that is exactly what has happened to Gao in the week since Resident Evil 4 Remake's launch. As pointed out by the aptly named Reset Era user Ada Wong, Gao's Instagram posts had thousands of hateful comments posted underneath them, which has caused Gao to quietly deactivate replies on posts to do with the remake.
Oh, this again, all over again. Why, oh why do people think it is okay to harass people just because you don't like a performance? I don't care about the performance whatsoever, really. At the end of the day, I haven't finished the game to give a proper in-depth discussion about the performance and everything like that. That's what I've seen from her. She does fine so far.
I will. Actually, I will, because you know what? I have thought nothing about it. Like, and I'm someone who fills a notebook full of notes.
Yeah.
I don't know what page that just opened to, but like full of notes to talk about video games on the internet. And like, I don't make notes about everything. I make notes about things which stand out that I really like and things that stand out, things that I really don't like. And in my notes for Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I haven't finished, but I've played a significant chunk of at this point, I don't have any notes about Lily Gau's performance as Ada Wong in Resident Evil 4 Remake because I didn't think about it. Like, it's fine. I don't have a thought one way or the other, and whether it's like it's not amazing and it's not awful. Like, it's just there. And like, if people want to be critical of the performance, cool. Like, you know, we that's what we do on this podcast.
We do all the time. Yeah. I used to do it when I did movie reviews, for God's sake.
Yeah, like I was doing a review of Octopath last week. Definitely didn't have 100% positive things to say about that, even though I loved the game. But like, to like flood someone's Instagram, I mean, I know why. She's a woman. That's why it happened. That's the same thing that happened to the woman from Star Wars.
She's a woman. She's Asian. She's all of these things. She's not white. That's it. That's all that matters. And that's basically why they've done it. As always, there's always other underlining things when it comes to harassment, when it comes to when you see things like this. And it's just like when Kelly Marie Chan, like your one you just brought up for Last Jedi.
Thank you.
I'll say the same what I said. I'll say the same thing what I said same for that. To all you whiny little bitches. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. There's a couple of things I want to talk about Resident Evil 4, actually, while we're here. And don't harass people. Harassment is shit, and if you do it, fuck off. Did you know that the actress who played Ada Wong in Resident Evil 4 Remake, because I looked into this, as I do with everything that we talk about on the podcast, she played Ada Wong in the movie that came out on Netflix.
Nice.
I didn't know that. Because I was like, my first thought was, is it the same actress as Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
No, but she played Ada Wong in Welcome to Raccoon City. So I was like, and I don't have a point to make with that. I just thought that was interesting.
She was in there. Yeah.
She was in the film.
Just people being pathetic as always. Don't be a douche.
The other one I want to bring up, which is somewhat funny I saw going around Twitter, which was someone was on a Steam forum asking if Dredge, the fishing game that I'll be reviewing next week, was woke. Which, you know, you see that all the time now. But like, no, it gets better. So this person was complaining that they didn't have any games to play so far this year. And they were making a list of like, oh, Dead Space was woke because of its story, and this other game was woke because of something else. And then they went, you couldn't play Resident Evil 4 because of its woke soundtrack. And my first thought was, what the fuck's a woke soundtrack? Like, when these losers complain about a woke story, it's because there's a woman in it, or like, you know, there's a black person in it, or whatever. Like, I don't understand that, but I can understand that, if you know what I mean. Like, but like, trying to translate this bollocks, like, I've spent days, Moody, thinking about what the fuck is a woke soundtrack? How is Resident Evil 4 soundtrack woke? And this isn't a question for you or anyone else to answer. This just it's stuck in my head. It's gonna bug me, probably until the day I die, because nothing these people say makes any sense. But
I want to ask the question of like, what the fuck is Dead Space 1's story woke? It's the same fucking story from the original game.
Hold on, I'll be able to find.
And if you've played that version and enjoyed it, it hasn't changed, mate.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah.
Fucking idiots, man.
It's come on, Elon. Don't break Twitter today.
No, not now.
Here it is. Yeah. So they're asking about Dredge, and they say, "Is this game woke?" And the post says, "Interested in buying? Can anyone please tell me if this game is being influenced by the woke leftist agenda, so I know if I can play it or not?" Oh, sorry, no. Between Dead Space's woke bathrooms, Hogwarts Legacy's woke genders, and RE4's woke soundtrack, I'm starting to doubt if I'll be able to play any new games this year. ...
Woke bathrooms?
They'll be, I don't know. You know what, Moody? Do you know what I wasn't paying attention to when we were playing Dead Space? The bathrooms. But hold on, there's a thing here on Google which says Resident Evil 4's woke soundtrack explained. I might have an answer here. I might be able to answer my own question. No, I don't want cookies. Thanks. Sorry, bear with me. In the post, this happened. It's become a meme. Obviously, we've talked about it. Perhaps the most amusing recurring element in the discussion surrounding things is posters. Oh, I just got clickbaited. The article doesn't know either. It literally says Resident Evil 4's woke soundtrack explained, and then it's explaining the situation, not why it's woke soundtrack. So if anybody out there knows what a woke soundtrack is, can you let me know? Please, I'm begging. Woke bathrooms in Dead Space, really? The guy can't play Dead Space. The guy cannot, in his words, play Dead Space because of the woke bathrooms. The bathrooms. Do you even remember going into a bathroom?
Yeah, you go in the bathrooms, yeah.
Okay, sure, because I don't remember any of that shit. I was like, I remember monsters and space. But this guy is physically unable to play the game because of the game's woke bathrooms. I wonder if he played Dredge. No, I'm very curious. There's a woman in that game, so I'm assuming it's too woke for him.
I wonder if he played Ragnarok. There's a woman in that. I wonder if he played your favorite game last year. There's a woman in that. Holy shit!
Oh no, there's women everywhere. They're everywhere, Moody.
There's women and ethnic minorities everywhere. Holy fucking god, Amy!
Oh my god!
It's the end of the world.
I mean, it is, but not for those reasons.
It's fucking disgusting. You fucking idiots, man. Let's go to other idiots. Amazon.
Woke Amazon. Amazon laying off.
They hire women. That means they're woke. And ethnic minorities, they're woke as well.
Amazon laying off 100 employees from video game division. This is from Liv Ngan over at Eurogamer, who writes, just over 100 people have lost their jobs at Amazon's video game division as part of the massive job calls announced a couple of weeks ago. Over 400 Twitch employees lost their jobs in late March, with Twitch CEO Dan Clancy blaming, quote, the current macroeconomic environment, end quote, for the layoffs. The further 100 employees who are being laid off are are a part of Game Growth, Amazon Games' San Diego studio, and Prime Gaming, according to an internal memo obtained by CNBC. The memo was written by Vice President of Amazon Games, Christoph Hartmann. Staff being let go were reportedly pulled aside into meetings with HR on Tuesday afternoon, one affected employee told CNBC, where they were then informed about the decision. Hartmann said the changes were being made after, quote, evaluating our current projects against our long-term goals, end quote. Hartmann also revealed some staff will be reassigned internally, whilst the company intends to grow their studios in Montreal and Irvine. Amazon Games Montreal is currently working on its MMO New World, whilst the Irvine and San Diego studios are working on separate unannounced projects, Hartmann noted in the memo. I get a headache just from reading that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I hope all these people land on their feet as soon as possible. It doesn't make sense to me. Like Amazon, like I'm pretty sure I saw another statement out there that you're still intending to grow Amazon video games, your video game division, and I'm just like,
they've laid off people in.
Why are you laying off people, you fucking idiots?
Yeah, they've laid off the people in San Diego because they're growing in Montreal and Irvine, which I think is in Texas. Well, where is Irvine? Probably not in the Scotland one. California. Irvine is a master plan city in southern Orange County, California. So you singing that song, it's actually in the OC. Well, no, like, I mean, yeah, like, the thing is, like, it's fucking shit.
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah, thanks. I think I caught that just in time, but not really. Sorry, audio listeners. The way a corporate, I don't know. What do you want me to say that I haven't already said?
Like we've already said tons of things here. It's like it sucks. Pain in the backside. They're a $1 trillion fucking company who sacking 100 people, yet still putting more money into the fucking development of their video game division, and they've sacked people.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like I've said on multiple occasions, and I'm not afraid to freaking say this. Capitalism, I think, when it's done right, can really do really wonderful things. All of these fucking companies make it hard to defend it.
There might be a reason for that,
man. And it's just like it's a load of bollocks, though. That's all. And I'm really, I'm really sick of it, man. And I'm just sick of seeing all these fucking people lose all their jobs and everything. So,
go make those numbers go up.
Let's go to the final story, and that is NFTs. The no fucking thanks. Yes, I took that from Skill Up.
Speaking of capitalism. Speaking of capitalism, I actually started watching Skill Up recently.
He's really canny.
He's alright. I like his I like his voice. Like the things that he says, yeah, sure. But I don't know, like his voice is just kind of cool. Like I don't know.
Calm and smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Aussie in them.
I was watching his weekly roundup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back to capitalism and how much it sucks. New Final Fantasy VII trading cards come with NFTs. Why would you put NFT? Of all the games you can put NFTs with, Final Fantasy VII. This is from Edmund Tran over at Games Hub. He writes, Square Enix has announced a new product in its line of official merchandise, Final Fantasy VII Anniversary Art Museum Trading Card Packs, which contains 6 physical cards and 1 Digital Card Plus, which for all intents and purposes are NFTs. As spotted by VGC, the complete collection of 207 cards will exist in both physical form, with digital versions of the collection also available. While the company is initially careful not to use the word NFT anywhere in its primary marketing, opting for the phrase digital card instead, it does explain the concept on its official website. Each digital card will become an NFT managed by blockchain technology, and you can view the items on a dedicated website. Because that's what I want to do with my trading cards. However, according to an FAQ about the product, Square Enix states that the ability to resell or transfer the items is not available. The company also states that all intellectual property rights on the products will continue to belong to Square Enix. There is no upper limit to the number of cards that can be generated, and the period for redeeming digital NFT versions of the cards will end on the 31st of March 2024. Finally, it states that it is, quote, possible you will not be able to view or use the digital card in the future, end quote, if the wallet service the cards are using, Engine Wallet, goes down. Do I even need to make any commentary here? Square Enix just did it all themselves. I'm laughing so hard the lens popped out of my glasses. Look, there it is. Like, so NFTs are stupid irregardless, right? And I feel like did we talk about these a couple of weeks ago? Like, not this, but it was the Square Enix game, Symbiogenesis.
An NFT thing, yeah.
And we went through, like, why it's stupid. And like, this is stupid because it's NFTs on a blockchain and they're JPEGs, and you can go online to view the things, but if you share a picture of it, I can screenshot it, and now I have it too. But I didn't pay for it. And this goes several levels deeper, right? Because the whole point of NFTs, according to NFT Bros, is like, you hold on to them and then you sell them when they're worth more money. But you can't, because Square Enix won't let you sell them. Also, the other whole point about NFTs is, according to NFT Bros, is it's a thing that you own. Like, if you buy it, there's a thing on the blockchain in your wallet that says that you own it. Because really, you're not buying the thing, you're buying the receipt that says, I own the thing. Well, according to this, Square Enix owns the rights to it, so you don't actually own it. Also, you can't redeem them after March 31st, 2024. But also, if the wallet goes down, you can't view them at all. So you could buy this thing, and then Engine Wallet could go down, and you just don't have it anymore.
Wah, wah, wah.
And that's Square Enix are either going to go out of business or they're going to get bought, aren't they?
Yes, I've been stating that for many times now.
Like, I was never on the Square Enix are going to get bought by PlayStation train, but I mean, it's either that or they're going to go out of business if they keep pulling shit like this.
Yeah,
because there's a significant cost. There's a significant cost involved in minting NFTs.
Yeah,
and like monetary, not just like environmental. And Square Enix is, I can't wait for Symbiogenesis to come out. It's going to be glorious. I'm going to have so much fun. Sorry.
Time for games out next week. Yeah.
You didn't say anything. I didn't let you say anything there.
I didn't need to.
I apologize.
You said everything. Thank you.
Yeah, so cool games coming out next week. There's one that I've seen. I mean, obviously there's more, but there's one that I've seen that I wanted to highlight, which is called Murderous Muses, and it's coming to PC on April 12th. So I made a video about a game called The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker a couple of years ago, and this is another game by that studio. Instead of it being fully 100% an FMV game, it's got gameplay, like you wander around an art gallery, I think it is. And then it's also got the FMV stuff in it, so they're branching out a bit. Dr. Decker is such a cool, underrated game, so I wanted to highlight this new game. Yeah. I did enjoy it quite a lot, yes. Made a whole video about it. But no, this is cool. Haunted Art Gallery, infinitely replayable murder mystery, which is, so if it's anything like how Dr. Decker works, it's like there's not, like, they film like all of the characters could potentially be the murderer, and then the game decides at the beginning of a new game which one it is. So you could play a game and it's this person who did the murder. But then if you do the game again, it's a different person who did the murder.
Well, that's a nice mechanic.
Yeah. So you get like different clues, basically.
Yeah. That's really kind.
It was good.
Time for OpenCritic head-to-head.
OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game we play most weeks where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game, or sometimes more than that. Foreshadowing. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we didn't do one, nor did we do one the week before. We're saving our tokens up because there's a big week coming up. The scores currently stand at Amy 5, Moody 6. We've both managed to guess the scores correctly on one game each. And then the rest have been 1 pointers. But this week, we're going to guess the OpenCritic average of another game that's coming out, Tron Identity. This is the game from BAFTA Games, and I don't know anything about it other than it's a Tron game and who makes it. That is the extent of my knowledge.
What's your score, Amy?
I don't know. Well, normally I'd go first, but somebody's already filled the document in.
Yeah, I filled it in. I went straight away. I was like,
So why don't you tell us why don't you tell the class what your score is?
his average 75 on OpenCritic.
Oh wow, is that BAFTA Games average?
Pretty much. He's got a few games that have just got 75 ratings on OpenCritic, so I was just like, I'm going for his average 75.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, one thing you can say about Mike Bithell and the games that his studio creates is they're very different from each other.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the guy doesn't lay on his laurels. He changes up every time, which is good. That's what you want to see. So, shout out to Mark.
He could have just made it Thomas Was Alone too.
He could have, yeah.
Chose not to do that. And I respect it. I haven't played many of his new games. I played Thomas Was Alone. I played Volume, and I think that was it. I don't think I've played anything since.
Never played a single game of his.
Never. I'm gonna get 78.
I don't mean that in a nasty way. It's just never have we gotten around to it.
I mean, we've both been
things on my mind.
playing Mass Effect and Yu-Gi-Oh! On a cycle.
Exactly.
And Dragon Age Inquisition.
Exactly. I need to get back to my Dragon Age save.
Yeah. What happened to Origins?
Oh, I've uninstalled that.
Passing
I was looking
fancy.
at it and I was thinking, this is just, it's too big.
This is just taking up room on my hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, I've got other things. Okay, I've got other things.
That's fair. Like, I was trying to figure
I'm
out...
not playing either, so...
I was trying to figure out what to fill the time in with before Bramble and / Star Wars / Mail Time / everything else week. So I was like, I'm looking at games like, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll play this. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe not. Who knows?
We'll see. I'm finished Dredge, so I've got about a few weeks. 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks? Something like that.
2 weeks.
That's time for a game. Or two. Depends how long they are. I should play Season. We bought that ages ago. Neither of us played it.
I started it.
You started it.
Yeah.
Well, Resident Evil 4 doesn't count because I'm streaming it, so... Like, I'm not sitting down to play that after we finish the podcast, you know? I'm not sitting down to play anything. I'm going to watch Justified until it's Star Trek o'clock.
Fair. That is fair.
Seeing Todd Stashwick in Justified was very funny. I saw I clocked his name in the credits and I was like, it's Captain Shaw. Oh my God. But no, that's... so yeah, I've guessed 78. You've guessed 75. We'll see what happens next week. Are there any games on your radar that aren't Bramble and Star Wars? Like in the next month?
Let me look at the calendar.
Just curious. Or anything from the last few months. Like anything. Like, give me some inspiration, I guess is what I'm asking.
Like, I'm intrigued to see what the Alien Dark Descent game's going to be like. Like, obviously, because I'm an Alien fan and everything, I'm very fascinated by that.
When's that come out?
I have no idea.
Right.
I cannot remember.
Not before Star Wars.
No, not before Star Wars. If you're looking like before Star Wars, there's nothing that's interesting me right now, which is kind of nice because that means I can get other games done before Star Wars comes out, hopefully.
What other games are you looking into?
Obviously, there's Goodbye Volcano High in June.
Okay. No, I'm fishing for inspiration of what I can play.
Oh, for you,
I'm grifting you for my benefit.
Well, I heard good things about Terra Nil.
Yeah, Terra Nil came out, didn't it?
Yeah. I've heard good things about that.
I played a demo of it last year.
I think it's on like an 83 on OpenCritic or something. So
That's what Dredge got. And I like Dredge. Spoiler alert for next week's podcast.
there's still Chia.
Cheer. I've got it installed on my PlayStation and everything.
So have I bought it. Yeah, I didn't buy it. I did
There you go. See? Now I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah, all right, then. Okay. All right, there. My job is done now.
Your job is done. As much as this is a job.
Quote now?
Huh? Or do I want you a goodbye quote now?
You want a positive quote at the end?
I don't know. Do I want a positive quote at the end?
I don't know.
It's your quote. I can
That's
say
true.
it positive.
It's someone else's quote I found on the internet.
It's mostly this podcast.
I hope everyone has a great long weekend. Have fun, enjoy yourself, be safe. Give your mum and give your parents a hug. Say you love them, and give them just say good things. Happiness is a beautiful butterfly, which then pursued is always just beyond your grasps, but which, if you will sit down quietly, might alight upon you. Have a good day. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. Live long and prosper.
Okay. I was wondering if you were going to do the thing.
No, I'm done.
No?